Two households, both alike in dignity. As introductions go, Shakespeare's prologue is a clever way of highlighting the play's important themes. The very first line is where one such theme can be found. Can you guess what that theme is? I begin my focus on that abstract noun, dignity. What is it? Well, dignity, simply speaking, is the quality of being worthy of respect. The word in this line, however, is usually read to mean nobility. The nobility of the Capulets and the Montagues, their wealth and their grand status in Verona. The audience doesn't have to wait very long to see whether these two families are indeed dignified. In Act 1, Scene 1, Samson and Gregory discuss at length their rivalry with the Montagues. Gregory says the quarrel is between our masters and us, their men. Here we already have a relationship of economics that sets up the Capulets as wealthy and powerful enough that men who are not related to them will fight to defend them and their honor. To Abram, Samson says, I serve as good a man as you. The operative word being serve. This is an effective ploy by Shakespeare which works to show the power and influence these masters have over their servants. It certainly goes to show their dignity in terms of their wealth and power, and their ability to use that wealth and power to influence those around them, namely the people who depend on them for their well-being. Economics, really. The servants act undignified, with the ridiculous and immature biting of the thumbs. But do their masters act any better? Capulet enters the fray with, give me my long sword, ho, and Montague demands, hold me not, as his wife keeps him from fighting. Dignity, indeed. Civil wars were indeed a very familiar aspect of the Elizabethan society. When England decided to move away from Catholicism in 1534, again, fighting between Catholics and Protestants formed another form of civil war. It can be argued that the presentation of this rivalry then in Act 1, Scene 1 illustrates the negative impacts of rivalry on society, usually instigated, if not perpetrated, by the nobility. Could this have been a way for Shakespeare to criticize the flaws in the wealthy nobility? More than likely. This brings me to another point. Why were the two families allowed to disturb the streets of Verona 3 times before the prince threatened death? When the prince scolds them, he scolds them for putting out the infernal rage with purple fountains issuing from their veins. The use of words like purple and fountains obviously glamorizes these rioters, giving them a regal image that elevates them far above the level of a disturbing mob. A possible other reason they've been allowed so much rope. Wealth privilege, it seems. In some way or other, the conflict in the play largely stems from wealth. The families fight for power. Their men fight to serve. The family's antics are allowed to affect those around them because of their privilege. Even Romeo, who fights not against a wealthy rival but for revenge, acknowledges the role of wealth in the play. He's described as a portly gentleman, of course, by none other than Lord Capulet. But he's not averse to buying some illegal poison and getting an old beggar of an apothecary to risk his life by selling him poison. But at least he's self-aware when he says, there is thy gold, worse poison to men's souls than the poison sold to him. Who better to highlight the poisonous nature of wealth than Romeo? The undignified actions of the nobility impact him directly. Its effects spread through Verona like the plague, and we see this all in the 2 hours traffic of the play. Romeo is indeed affected by the wealth of his family, which links to the rivalry in this society, which obviously leads to the tragedy of the play. And there is my idea about wealth and how it affects society in Verona, and not just society in the play, but society in Shakespearean era. Thank you.